neighborhood in Little Falls, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Robert Leach.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? What's new and exciting? How come everybody's in the back row? Why? Because we got $100 bills down here. Mr. What's already? Come on down. Here, take them. That's what this is all about. Right now, everybody go into your... Does everybody analog or is everybody digital? Digital. Go on your device. Write down one thing you want to do today. One thing.
By the way,
Got it? Now write down underneath that 2 or 3 brief notes. How am I going to get that? Maybe you want to get an A in professor's class. Maybe you want to get a date with someone special. Maybe you're saying, how the hell do I get away from this crazy guy in a black sweater?
No.
And we'll talk about that stuff later. What do, and please don't take this as a religious thing, what does the Catholic Church, Prudential, and McDonald's have in common?
Marketing and franchising?
Excellent answer. Anybody else? Who said real estate? That woman in that Sherman cigar. Catholic Church is the largest landholder in the world. Largest landholder in the United States. Put that aside, they got like what they call a religious exemption. They don't pay a lot of taxes. But that's okay. Prudential Insurance, started in the 1800s, headquartered right here in Newark, New Jersey. They collected premiums from people a little bit at a time. What did they do with the money? They have to guarantee certain returns on what's called GIC, or guaranteed investment contracts. So they invested in stocks, bonds, and real estate. Real estate became pretty profitable for them, so they have a management company, a management division. They go out and they buy and manage all these commercial buildings. They have something here that, what, the Devils play there? Yeah? How about a different story? How about Sam McDonald and his brother in the 1940s started selling hamburgers? Where'd they start? California. Started in California, absolutely. Selling burgers, making a couple of bucks, not doing too well, not doing too poorly, making a couple of bucks. Who do they run into? Ray Kroc. What's Ray Kroc do? If you want to come up here, I'll make fun. What is he? Hey, I'm Bob.
Yeah, I'm Ray Kroc.
You're not Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc has invented what? Ray Kroc invented a machine that made malts and milkshakes. And this, the partnership between the McDonald's and Ray Kroc was born. They never made a living. Thank you. What did they do? Well, they opened up another store. They opened up another store. Then they started buying the real estate and charging themselves rent for different corporate entities. They were making money selling hamburgers and Coca-Cola and milkshakes, but they were making real money buying real estate, leasing it, rinse and repeat. If you ever get bored at night, how many people watch TikTok? Come on, I got an 18-year-old, I know what goes on. Look up McDonald's annual report. Look up Prudential's annual report. See how much income and assets are generated from real estate. Part of building wealth, if you want to connect, you can take a picture of my bopple. Selfless plug. Selfless plug. Part of building wealth is real estate. You can own or you can rent. We'll get to the differences in a little bit. You can build equity. We're going to show you what that looks like, and we're not going to, I promise, no heavy duty lifting with the math. There's tax advantages of owning real estate. And of course, you have to qualify. Number 5 is what we want to focus on today. Wealth creation. I like this little button. Can I have this? Okay. If you rent $2,500 a month, is that reasonable? In 5 years, you've paid $150,000 to your landlord. $150,000. And you can do the math. At 3,000, it's 180. At 4,500, it's $210,000 in 5 years you've given to someone else. What do you have for it? Sure, you have a place to live, and you get 12 rent receipts at the end of the year. 76% of the respondents to a Fannie Mae survey said providing a good place to raise children is a major reason to own a home. I don't have a demographic analysis here of who has children, who doesn't have children. You may not, you may be planning on it. Something to keep in there. Equity building. Well, first of all, what is equity? Equity is not these $100 bills that you can take across the street and spend. You can't spend equity directly. But equity is an asset. It's the difference between the value of your real estate and any debt you may have on it. Simple. The difference between what it's worth and what you owe is equity. So you have a $500,000 purchase price, which is roughly the New Jersey average for the last reported year of 2023. And you put 5% down, $25,000. Don't worry about where you're going to get to $25,000. That nice young lady sitting next to you says she's got it in her purse. Help yourself. I'll get to where you get that in a little bit. So you're starting out with $25,000 in equity. You put money in, the difference between value and debt is your equity. After 5 years at 7% interest, today's stock market rate, you've paid down the loan balance. A portion of your payment is principal, a portion of your payment is interest. The portion that is principal is like putting money in the bank. You started out at $475, you've paid your loan balance down to $447. Oh, and houses typically go up, not 12 or 14 or 20% a year over the course of the past 3 or 4 years, which has been the case. I took a conservative approach and said, what happens if it goes up just 4% a year? Compounding. Everybody knows what compounding is? That's the best thing in the world since time. Compounding in time equals wealth creation. Your value is $591. So after 5 years, your new equity is $144,000. That's better than giving your landlord $150,000. You now have $144,000 in the bank. If anybody has any questions, I know I didn't really say this at the beginning. I'm kind of informal. I'm dressed in jeans and a sweater. If you have a question, whatever the protocol here is, if you have to go to a microphone, I don't think we can smoke in here, can we? So there's no smoke signals allowed. But whatever you need to do to get my attention, raise your hand. We'll see if your questions get answered. How do you qualify for that $475,000 loan? Let's talk about that for a minute. Does everybody understand credit? Okay. Let's talk about credit. Credit comes in a lot of different forms. You can have a mortgage, you can have a car loan, you can have a personal loan. Many people in this room may have student loans. Many people may have credit cards. How you pay your bills is the #1 important thing in establishing a good and high credit score. If you pay your bills on time, your scores are going to be better if you don't. If you don't max out your credit cards, if you have a $5,000 available balance, available credit limit, and you keep a $1,000 balance, that's a 20% utilization rate, that will increase your credit score. If you don't default on any of your loans, if you pay your bills, you don't default, you're going to get a good credit score. Anybody here have like a bank that they check their credit score with, a FICO score, maybe on a Discover card, maybe on a Visa card, maybe a Credit Karma? Anybody have any of that stuff? Yeah. It's good to monitor your credit that way. Let me let you know there's a significant difference between the free credit services that comprise the Discover cards or the American Express cards or the Credit Karma with what's called the Residential Mortgage Credit Report. And that's what we run when we do a very deep dive into your credit background. It's a merged report of all three bureaus, and it has all your laundry, clean and dirty, for the last 10 years on that report. If you went bankrupt, if you had foreclosure, repayment history, all the accounts that are open, all the accounts that are closed, all the inquiries you made for credit over the course of the time, it's all in a deep dive. Oftentimes, I talk to a client and they say to me, well, Bob, I checked my credit card on 720. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the report, your mid-score is 660. Did you look at the other two? No. So just keep in mind, it's a good indicator, but it's not the end-all be-all. There will be some differences. If you don't have any credit, and you want to get into the I need credit to buy something game, you can do one of two things. You can become an authorized user on one of your parents' credit cards. You can open up a secured card. Does everybody know what a secured card is? You go to the bank, you put $500 on the counter, say I want a credit card for $500. They send you a bill every month, you pay it out of your pocket. You don't pay it out of the money it's secured with. Simple. And that will build up your credit. One card may not be enough to get your credit to where it is. You may need 2 or 3 or more. Take small bites. If you need to buy a shirt, if you need to buy groceries, if you need to buy gas, that's what you do. Buy it, pay it. Buy it, pay it. Get in a habit, cycle, rinse and repeat. Do it again and again. Your score is going to go from down here to up here. And it's up here where you want to be when it comes time to borrow. Better rates, better terms. What about work? Should I stop right there? Is there nobody wants to work? Everybody in this room wants to work, I bet, right? Who doesn't want to work? Come on, a little interaction, gang. Who doesn't want to work? Everybody wants to work. You have to work to get money. You don't live for money, you need money to live. I think gentlemen before me spoke eloquently on that topic. So you have to work, you have to earn. 2 years is the optimal period. Less can be explained either via college transcripts, military service, and the like. 2 years is kind of the minimum. We're looking at salary, we're looking at bonuses, we're looking at commissions. We'll look at passive income from dividends, interest, real estate investments. Self-employed income is always the most difficult because anybody in this room self-employed? You got a great accountant, right? What does he do for you? He minimizes your tax liability. Sure, that's natural. You don't want to give the federal government any more money than they don't already know what to do with. So you have a great tax return when it comes time to pay your tax bill. You give them a little bit of money. When you come to me to borrow, you have a horrible tax return because you don't show enough income to qualify for the loan. So if you are self-employed and you're thinking about getting into the purchase game, we need to have conversations early in the game that says, let's look at increasing your income. If you've been self-employed for more than 5 years, we only need to see 1 tax return. We don't need to average 2 years. So if you show 1 tax return, you pay a little bit of tax, sure, you have to. Next year, go do what you got to do. But you qualified for the loan with that 1-year return. Do we need money to buy a house? Sure. Down payment, closing costs. Minimum down payment on conventional loan, 3%. Minimum down payment on 2 to 4 family conventional loans, 5%. Minimum down payment on a 1 through 4 family FHA loan, 3.5%. If you are served in the United States military and you have a certificate of eligibility, 0%. We thank you for serving our country. We give you no money down loan. If you're looking to buy a house out in the countryside, figure west of 287, south of 195, geographically speaking, you can get what's called a USDA loan. That's the same USDA that stamps your steaks in the store saying USDA choice grade proof. They got a loan, 0 money down. Lowest cost of financing as well. Just something to consider. Remember I said before, this young lady had some money in her bag and you can borrow, you can have it? You get a gift. You got a nuclear family, mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grands, steps, abs, all of the types of relations. They can give you a 100% gift. Make it a little bit easier. If you're the first person in your household to buy a property, it's called a first generation. You can get, with the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, you can get up to $22,000. I'll say it again, you get up to $22,000 for down payment and closing costs. It's a grant. It comes in the form of a silent second mortgage placed on your home, and there's an occupancy requirement for 5 years. Part of that grant may be clawed back if you move or sell the property prior to the 5 years. Just something to keep in mind about where you're going to get your money for your down payment. And of course, seller's credit. How many people here have dabbled in looking at real estate? Show of hands. Okay, show of hands. Buyer's market? No. Seller's market? Yeah. Seller's credit is going to be really tough these days because sellers don't have to do anything except. You remember that line from Goodfellas where it said, "Pay me"? That's what they're saying today. Recently, I don't know how attuned you are to the goings on in the real estate mortgage related field. There's been a major systemic shift of commissions paid. There was a major lawsuit brought in Illinois and Ohio from property owners that felt that they weren't being treated fairly for keeping it easy. They sued the National Association of Realtors for $1.4 gazillion, and they won because they said, how can a seller pay a buyer's real estate agent, and how can that real estate agent really represent the best interests of the buyer? It's all about representing the best interests. So there's been a settlement, things are still, the dust is still settling. Maybe the real estate commission won't be 5 or 6%, maybe it'll be 3%, and you'll have a buyer agent, and you will pay for your own agency. Or you'll ask the seller for a credit to pay for your agency. So there's still a lot of things to be sorted out, but I just want to give you like a 40,000-foot overview of agency and representation and what is coming, and it will be effective July of this year. Did I talk about tax benefits? How many people here file tax returns? How many people itemize? How many people just take the standard deduction? Do I have any accounting professors in the room? Good, so I can fabricate these numbers then. Standard deduction is, if you're single, it's approximately $17,000. Might be a little bit higher or lower with some change, but it's approximately $17,000. If you're married, like I am, that doubles. So it's approximately $34,000. What does it mean? It means if you make $100,000 and you take $34,000 away, that's my deduction, I'm only paying taxes on $66,000. Everybody understand the concept? Great. Owning real estate allows you more deductions. For instance, did I say 17? I really meant to say 13. Why didn't somebody say, Bob, it's 13, it's right up here. That's a laugh line. until the end of next year, if the law says it still sunsets, can deduct up to $10,000 of real estate taxes. New Jersey has the highest real estate tax in the country. Thank you very much. Average tax bill in the state of New Jersey is $9,700. Some tax bills are a lot more than that, some are less. You have a $10,000 deduction cap on real estate taxes, and 100% of all interest on loans up to $750,000 are deductible. So if you have $40,000 in interest, $10,000 in taxes, you have a $50,000 deduction instead of a $27,000 deduction. More deductions from your income, less interest, less taxes paid. In this case, we don't get too concerned with the math, but we saved $3,850 just in federal income taxes not being paid. What could you guys do with $3,800 a year? You could go to Atlantic City, right? You go to the track, you go to a couple concerts, I don't know, Lady Gaga tickets or whatever, who's who? Oh yeah. Taylor Swift, $1,200 a ticket, you go to what, one show with a friend? Or you could take your annual tax savings of $3,800, you can invest that in a market index fund. Assume a 6% ROI, and you see what you get, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. 28,000, 60,000, and 162,000. That's just if you're disciplined enough to invest the real estate tax, the federal income tax savings. That's all. We're not asking you, you're already paying the money, you're just getting a check back. Instead of spending it, invest it. Now, what could you do with $162,000 after 20 years? Well, if today you don't have kids and tomorrow you do, you can help offset college tuition. You can buy investment properties. You can buy vacation homes. Okay, open and honest dialogue. Who wants to start? I need a volunteer. Come on, my Swifties over here. Anyone? All right. Ma'am.
Yes, I'll volunteer.
When I ask you to write down something, if it's not too personal, would you share?
Sure.
What was your one thing you want to accomplish today?
The one thing that I wanted to accomplish today is being able to make sure that my son did his studies for his SAT prior.
And how are you going to go about making sure your son did his SAT prep studies?
Well, I would communicate with him, and I would have him show me what exactly he's studying and verify that information.
So you took a page out of Ronald Reagan's book, Trust but Verify.
Yes.
Excellent. Anybody? That's an excellent one day. What do you want to do? Anybody else care to share? All right, I get it. No one wants to share. Sir.
All right, so you may remember me from your last.
Yes, I do. You were sitting in the third table, second seat over.
Yes. Hey, pretty good memory. I suppose my question was you mentioned, partly because you mentioned this last time about lending. So obviously, entity lenders, you work with us, you open it up to us to reach out and foster work for you in the future. So then my question is, what is your opinion on affordable housing? Especially with higher rents, higher property values, and people starting to struggle. Do you think that is a market that is, one, you can go into and not only be profitable, but actually help a lot of people?
Did everybody hear the question? Allow me just to paraphrase. What do I think about affordable housing? Is it something to go into for a profitable venture, or is it something to go into for an altruistic adventure? Is that fair?
That's fair enough. Well, you can do both.
Okay. First of all, does everybody know what affordable housing is? Okay, in brevity, affordable housing is dictated by the state that any new development has to have a percentage of the number of units dedicated to affordable housing. Affordable housing is based on AMI, which is the average monthly income for the particular county that you're in. Essex County has a different AMI than Ocean County, than Salem County. And you have to be at certain percentages of the AMI to be defined as affordable or less affordable. So if you're at 80% of AMI, you're going to be in the super affordable category. Also, in order to maintain affordable housing, certain deed restrictions have to be placed on those individual units. So if you sell a unit for $200,000 and there's a deed restriction that says you can't sell this for more than X% gain year over year, say 1%. So in 5 years you can only sell it for whatever the math comes out to be, $210,000 or $220,000. As long as you have an income capped at 80% of AMI. Is it profitable? Or is it altruistic? I think we need affordable housing because has anybody seen these new luxury rents in all these towns around here? Newark, East Orange, Harrison? What's the average monthly rent? $3,750, $4,200. Numbers that are astronomical. So yes, affordable housing is good business because you're helping people. Now, you're also helping yourself because as a builder, if I want to build 100 units, there is a formula, and I don't know the formula off the top of my head, so please forgive me, but let's say 10%. You have to put 10 units into affordable housing. So 10 families can help while I get profit on 90. I get 9/10 of a loaf of bread instead of a loaf of bread. It's not bad business. If the number's 20% affordable, same thing. You're helping 20 families, you're getting 80% versus 100%, not bad business. And you get a reputation in the community. Anybody else want to share about what they put in their pocket? I put one in my pocket every day. I'm a little bashful. I don't know if I want to share with you all.
Got it, sir.
Mine said, present well. How'd I do? Mine said, wealth creation. Does everybody have a better understanding of that? Mine said facts and figures. Did I use them well? And the last one I'm not too sure about, but it said engaging. This is a trick I've used for the last 43 years. Simple and effective. You have all the technology in the world, quite frankly, so do I. This piece of paper in my pocket at the beginning of every day helps me focus on what I want to do that day. Now, does anybody from the audience have any questions, comments, concerns? I greatly appreciate the fact that you've taken time out of your day to listen to what some mortgage guy had to say about wealth creation. And I really appreciate the fact that you're studying in school. I still have, my last son is 18 and he's got a decision to make by, I think, whatever, May 1st was the decision day. But the other 4 are all in their 30s and married with kids if you wanted to really get it that personal. But once again, I thank you so much for your attention. I thank you for your learning. My contact information is all over the place. If you have any individual questions, I'll be around and we can speak in private because I know some of these conversations actually are private. Thank you once again and have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the show.